Hello, everyone, and welcome to this event in partnership with the Aarhus University. My name is Stefania, and I will be moderating this webinar in behalf of Docsity. I see here that the first people are joining us, so welcome you all. We are going to wait just a few minutes, I swear, to start so that everyone can have the time to connect. And in the meantime, feel free to say hi in our chat here on Zoom, or just to type where are you from. We are curious about it. So it's my pleasure to welcome you today to this webinar. Well, we will hear students' experiences, discover the academic offer of the university, and learn about the admission process, scholarship, and work opportunities also. So it will be an event rich of information for you all. Thanks everyone to be here today, and thanks to our panelists. I want now to introduce you Gitte, the Communication and Recruitment Manager and responsible for recruitment in Latin America, but also Edgar, international student from Mexico who is studying civil and architectural engineering. And I want to remind you that after the presentation, we will have a Q&A session where you will be able to ask it directly to Gitte and Edgar. So please don't be shy, type your questions and curiosity in the Q&A box, and we will happy to reply to them after the presentation. And last but not least, if you are interested in receiving the certificate of attendance issued by Docsity, please stay tuned because we will give you more information after the session. So now we have a person in the chat. Thank you for sharing with us. Sari from Mexico is the first person typing. So if you want to be the next person to talk with us, just type there. And now, welcome again to who is joining us. I think that we can start. So, Gitte, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Stefania. And also a big welcome from Aarhus University. We're very excited that you joined us today to hear about Aarhus University. Just wanted to see if I can change my slide here. There we go. So yeah, as Stefania mentioned, my name is Gitte. I work at Aarhus University with recruitment of international master students, and I'm responsible for our recruitment and marketing activities in Latin America. So I'm very excited for everyone who's here today. And then, as you can see, I also have Edgar with me today. He's one of our current students studying civil and architectural engineering and from Mexico himself. So Aarhus University is a public university in Denmark. I don't know how much you heard about it, so I'm going to go through the basics first and then dig more deeply into some of the other aspects of Aarhus University. As you can see, it's almost 100 years old. We are around 40,000 students, 35,000, 45,000 students. Around 10% are international, and I think we have more than 100 different nationalities on campus. So very international. Also, we have some famous people who studied at Aarhus University. First of all, we are the only Danish university where the royal family have studied. His Royal Highness Crown Prince Frederik did a full degree in political science in the 90s. And actually the Queen also studied at Aarhus University in the 60s, where she studied some archaeology and political science courses. She actually lived on campus in one of the dorms with everyone else when she was a student here. Then we also have the former CEO of Lego, Jørgen V. Knudstrup, did a master degree in economics. Bjarne Stoustrup, if you're within computer science or STEM, you probably have heard of him. He was the inventor of the C++ programming language, studied mathematics and computer science here in the 70s. Lene Haug was the first person in the world to stop light. Now has her own lab at Harvard and studied physics at Aarhus University. And then Anders Fogh Rasmussen, the former Danish Prime Minister and former Secretary General of NATO, to name a few. Then the ranking for some students is very important. Others don't really care about the rankings, but I put them here anyway, mostly to tell you that we are a very high-ranked university. So you will be sure that you will get a very good education if you decide to come to Aarhus University. Not only good, but also recognized throughout the world. Also, for many of our programs, it's a possibility to do an exchange while being here for the master's degree. We have partnerships all over the world. These are just to name some of them, but it's partnerships, as you can see, with some of the very best universities in the world. The learning at Aarhus University, I'm sure Edgar will also talk to you about this, because this is one of the things that we hear from our international students, is both something they really like and something that's very different from what they are used to. It's what we call a Scandinavian teaching style. So this means that, first of all, it's very informal. You will call your professor by their first name. And also, it's very much discussion-based, critical thinking. It's not just the professors having a one-way conversation, but with you, it's actually a two-way street where you can also share your thoughts and opinions about different matters. Still, it's really research-based. All our teachers are active researchers, so you will be giving the newest knowledge within the different fields. Then now I want to talk a little bit about life in Denmark. Edgar will also talk a little bit about this, what it's like to be an international student in Denmark, but these are just like general things about Denmark. First of all, where are we? Many of you might not know where Denmark is. You probably might know it's in Europe, but maybe that's it. Maybe you already researched a lot, but I just thought I'd show you this map to show you where Denmark is and where Aarhus is. As you can see on the European map, we are right below Norway and Sweden and right above Germany. So we are the southern part of Scandinavia and connected to the rest of Europe. For many international students, they really like this because this means that you have really easy access to the rest of Europe. And many international students take advantage of this because there's a lot of cheap trips to some of the other big capitals, some of the other capitals in Europe, like London, Amsterdam, Berlin, but also Milan. I know a lot of international students go there. We have a direct flight from Aarhus to Milan, so there's a lot of good opportunities to travel. And coming to Denmark, you will have a Schengen visa, which means that you can travel freely within the EU. Then looking at the map of Denmark, you can see Aarhus right in the middle there, right by the water in the Jutland Peninsula, it's called. You can also see Copenhagen. It's a 3-hour drive between Copenhagen and Aarhus. And then Denmark. Denmark is, from what you're used to, a very small country. We are almost 6 million people. Copenhagen is our capital. Many people have heard of Copenhagen, but not many have heard of Aarhus. I'll get back to that. But yeah, it's a very small country. Still, it's also very international. Since we are so few people speaking Danish, many people speak English really well. So this is actually a chance for you to get an international experience without going to an English-speaking country, because everyone here almost speaks English really well. So even if you go to the supermarket, the person at the cash register will be able to help you in English. The bus driver can speak English, so it's not a problem not knowing Danish. Also, Denmark is a very safe and secure country. Students tell us, and I've done the same when I was a student, it's safe to walk around at night as a student, biking home after maybe going out for a drink. And also, it's one of the happiest countries in the world in this UN World Happiness Report. And I think that has to do with a very high level of trust that we see among the Danes. Then, as mentioned, we are very good at speaking English, ranked actually 3rd best in the world for non-native speakers. So as mentioned, this is a very good opportunity to have an international experience without going to maybe the UK, the US, and also much cheaper probably than both the UK and the US. So definitely take a look at the opportunities we have. I'm sure that there's something for you. Then there's the living cost. You might have heard that Denmark is a very expensive country. Maybe Edgar will also talk a little bit about how his living costs are in daily life. But we put together this example just to show you what it could look like. As you can see, housing rent is between $350 to $650 per month. This is a big variation, but that's because if you live in a dorm, maybe on the outskirts of the city, it will be closer to 350 compared to if you would want your own apartment in the middle of the city, it will be closer to 650, maybe $700 per month. Still, when I say outskirts of the city, it's not more than maybe 4 or 5 kilometers from the city center and maybe 3-4 kilometers from some of our campus areas. So it's still very close proximity. Then food and data expenses, of course, vary a lot. You can save on that. There's a lot of sales going on. So that's also a way to keep expenses down. And I can also say with the rent, it's still a lot lower than if you were to go to Copenhagen. And then healthcare, of course, is free for international students as soon as you have your Danish social security number, which would normally happen in the first month of your studies. So you need your own insurance until you have your Danish social security number, but after that you can go to the doctor for free. Dental care would have a little fee, but other doctors would be free. Then career. As an international student, you can actually work part-time up to 20 hours per week while being a student and full-time during the summer. And actually, this is something that a lot of Danish students also do during their master degree, because this is a way to gain practical experience within your field. And actually, it's also, there's really good opportunity also for international students to find work. Some would maybe start with like just a money-paying job, what we call them, like working in a restaurant or delivery or something like that. But many can also easily find work within their area of expertise. So if you would study computer science, maybe you could find a student job as a student program developer or something like that. Then it's also possible to stay in Denmark after graduation. The Danish government just changed the rules, so now you can stay up to 3 years after graduation. And this is actually because the Danish government really wants more international talent to stay in Denmark. And that's because we have a very low unemployment in Denmark right now. So there are, especially within our STEM fields, excellent opportunities to find relevant work in Denmark. And again, you would have 3 years to find the right job for you. There's also very high starting salaries. And then you might have heard about the work-life balance we have in Denmark, where you work 37 hours per week and you would have paid 5 weeks of paid holiday per year. Then the city of Aarhus. Many people have not heard about Aarhus. It's the second biggest city in Denmark with a population around 350,000 people. It's the youngest city in Denmark measured by age, but also the oldest when you look at how old the city actually is. It was founded by the Vikings more than 1,000 years ago, which you can still feel when you're in the inner side of the city. But there is a lot of students. 1 in every 6 people living in Aarhus is a student. So you still get that feeling of a student city, but at the same time, and with a good balance, the feeling of being in a big city with everything a big city has to offer, but just in a very smaller space. So you would have world-renowned restaurants, you would have concerts, you would have nightlife, museums, all these things, but in a very smaller place. So you could bike everywhere, and a lot of people do that. It's also a very well-educated city. 33% of the people living here are university educated. Then to the programs, I'll get more in detail about some of these programs. We have 28 programs taught in English. You can find them all on our website, masters.au.dk, where you can sort them by interest alphabetically and so on. And all these 28 programs, are taught fully in English by international teachers, so it won't be a problem for you to follow any of these programs. There's also some research opportunity. All our master programs are 2-year programs, and normally the PhD is a 3-year program on top of the 2-year programs. But for very talented students, they can apply to start their PhD before having finished their master program. So maybe 1 year after your 1 year into your master program, you can apply and do a combined master and PhD. This will also mean that you would be considered an employee instead, and which would mean that you would have your tuition fee covered and actually have a small salary while you do the combined master and PhD. And then when you turn to the full PhD for the last 2 years, you would have a regular PhD salary, which is actually really good compared to many other European countries. There's also the combination possibility of doing a combined master and PhD for the full time, but this is normally for Danish students, because then we know their abilities from their bachelor, and then they will be offered these things. But we have many internationals actually looking into starting a PhD while before having finished their master. And to do that, normally students would join research projects or connect with some of the research groups on campus and hear about these opportunities. Then the admission requirements. So to start in late August, around 1st of September, you would have to apply between 1st of November and 15th of January. We also, for our engineering programs, we have also a winter intake. It just ended for this year, but if you want to start winter in 2025, you can apply between 17th of August and 15th of September. The annual tuition fee is 15,300 euros, and as mentioned before, it's a 2-year program. We do have tuition fee waivers available for selected top students, and actually this year we have decided that 75% of our tuition fee waivers will go to specific chosen countries, where Mexico and Colombia are 2 of the countries that will be specifically considered for more of these tuition fee waivers. Also, there's an application fee of 100 euros, and this will be given back to you if you offered admission and join us here in September, and we can register that you're still a student by October. Then a little bit more about the tuition fee waiver. We always get the question, how do I apply for a scholarship? Our tuition fee waiver will cover the tuition fee for the full 2 years, and it's not something you apply for. As an applicant, you will automatically be considered for a tuition fee waiver. So you actually automatically apply. The admission committee in each department or each program will then select the top applicants and nominate them for a tuition fee waiver. And they would look at the students with the highest grades, both in general terms, but also within the relevant courses of the program. And as you can see here, 7% of all the applicants got an offer, who got an offer also got a tuition fee waiver. So we don't have that many, but still, as you know, probably also familiar with, many students also apply to other places. So in reality, much higher number of the students actually joining us will be here on a tuition fee waiver. And then just general about the admission requirements. This is for all programs. You would need a relevant bachelor degree. So the Danish system is where the master degree builds on the bachelor degree. So if you want to study a master degree in computer science, you would need a bachelor degree in computer science. And then you also need an English language test. For TOEFL, you would need at least 83, and for IELTS, it's 6.5. So it's definitely also something that you should look into right now to focus on your language abilities. Just also note that you can actually hand in your language test after the admission deadline on, which is, as I mentioned, January 15, you can send it in later, just before May 1st. And also good to know, and different from many other European universities, is, for instance, IELTS, we don't have a lower band for the individual test. It's just a general 6.5. So that's a little bit easier than for other countries. Then I just took out some of the master degree programs that we offer. Some of these I can go into more detail about, but also you're also more than welcome to ask questions if you want more specific information about these, and then I can go into details. I have a lot of slides. I don't want to go into very much details about, for instance, bioinformatics if nobody here is actually interested in bioinformatics. So I'll go over them very briefly, and then feel free to ask any more questions about these specific programs. But as you can see, we have a very broad number of programs, both within more like natural science, but also the engineering, and then the agro food science division. So these are just examples of some of the programs. I'll go into them briefly, and then I'll leave the screen to Edgar to talk about what it's like to be a student here. But first, just a little bit about some of the programs. Computer science. As mentioned, all the programs are 2-year programs, and we work with semesters. So each program would be 4 semesters. And for computer science, that means that you would do 2 specializations, and then either a 3rd specializations or electives. And these are the specializations that we offer right now. There's 9 different ones, and you have to choose at least 2 of them, or a 3rd. You could also do electives, so you could do electives from data science, or from the full program in bioinformatics or mathematics, or maybe some computer engineering. And then the 4th semester is always devoted to the thesis. One of the reasons why people choose our computer science program is some of these. First of all, it's a very well-known program, very high ranked in many of the specializations. We are number 2 in the world in cryptography, and 9 in programming languages. Also, as you can see, very high ranked in other specializations. Then we have a very close collaboration with some of the large IT companies in and around Aarhus, which means that there's excellent career opportunities both for students and graduates. So we have career events for computer science students, where they can, here in October, for instance, where they can find a relevant student job in some of the companies that we work with. And also for our graduates, we have career days. And I think last year there was 100 companies joining us. No, I think 200 recruiters joining us to recruit 100 graduates. So they're very high demand for our computer science students. The admission requirement, as I mentioned, you need a relevant bachelor degree, so a bachelor in computer science or computer engineering. But as you can see, we also have specific requirements for each program. So for computer science, for instance, this means that you need 20 ECS in programming, 20 ECS in computer systems, 20 ECS in theoretical computer science, 10 ECS in human-computer interactions, and 20 ECS in basic math and statistics. So this is something that you need to check in your bachelor. And also, if there are some of these things that you feel you don't really meet, then maybe you still have time to do an elective in your bachelor. Then engineering. We have 5 engineering programs at Aarhus University. We actually have 6. We also have one that is a combined engineering and business program called technology-based business development. I'm not going to go into that program today, but these are the 5 programs offered by our Faculty of Technology. So it's very classical programs: biotechnology and chemical engineering, civil and architectural engineering, computer engineering, electrical engineering, and mechanical engineering. And as you can see, like computer science, it's 4 semesters with the thesis in the end, and a mix of compulsory specialized courses and electives. So mechanical engineering, these are the compulsory courses for mechanical engineering. And then there's also some specializations. This year, we have a lot of different specializations, as you can see, and electives. So again, the the biggest reason why I think international students really also like Aarhus University, also compared to other Scandinavian universities, is that you can really choose the courses and specializations that are relevant to you and the path that you want to go on for your career. So if you're very interested in robotics, or if you're very interested in cryptology for computer science, there's an opportunity to actually specialize in that. And that's what really students really like. As it's this huge amount of flexibility. Again, admission requirements, you need a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering with at least 60 ECTS in mechanical engineering. So also if you studied mechatronics, you need 60 ECTS in mechanical engineering. It's not enough to have mechatronics. And then you also need 20 ECTS in math, covering all of these areas in total. And we know that a lot of people suffer to have partial differential equations, but you all need to have it some way in some of your courses. You might not have a course with this name, but maybe you have some of these things in other courses as well. So please just make a note of that. Then there's a computer engineering and electrical engineering. These are the mandatory courses for computer engineering on one side and electrical engineering on the other side. As you can see, some of the mandatory courses are the same in the two programs, and this is actually the same for the specializations. So for electrical engineering, you would have 5 specializations for photonics, wearable devices, and also these other with integrated circuits and signal processing. On the other side, computer engineering, have wireless networks, embedded systems, signal processing, distributed system, and software engineering. Yeah, let's see, civil and architectural engineering. I think Edgar will also talk a little bit more about that. We have 3 specializations, or 6 specializations here: infrastructure and geotechnical engineering, structural engineering, innovative and structural design, smart buildings, and construction management and engineering. And I actually just changed the program a little to make it more suitable for the future of civil and architectural engineers. And this is the same as you saw with mechanical engineering, just of course with courses within civil and architectural engineering. Biotechnology and chemical engineering. I think I'll skip that one and just feel free to ask any questions about it later. Then I'll go back to these slides. It's also bioinformatics with 3 different specializations. Yeah, and agro and food science. With one in agrobiology, a program in agrobiology with different sublines, and a program in molecular nutrition and food technology. And also classical theoretical mathematics, of course, where you need a lot of math. And I think this is where I'll end my session with a few pictures with student life in Aarhus. And as you can see, this is a quote from Juan, one of our international students from Spain, who really have enjoyed staying with us. And as he says, hopefully you also get to experience this yourself, and AU is waiting for you, and AU is definitely waiting for you. We really hope to have more students from Latin America next year at Aarhus University. So yeah, you need to join Edgar, and I'm sure that now he'll tell you why you need to come here. Thank you so much for listening.
Okay, so now we will have Edgar talking. Edgar is an international student studying civil and architectural engineering, and he will present himself and his career. So Edgar, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Stefania. Thank you, Kire. If there is no problem with you, Kire, I can follow my presentation in Spanish for the current students. And I will share my screen. Perfecto. Hola, ¿qué tal? Mi nombre es Edgar, soy de México. Y pues ahorita actualmente estoy estudiando la maestría en Ingeniería Civil y Arquitectura. El camino que yo elegí o la especialización que yo elegí fue Innovative Structural Design, que es más apegado a la parte arquitectónica y estructural de la ingeniería. Este, y pues vamos a ver, llevo un año en Dinamarca, llegué en agosto del año pasado. Fue admitido para la maestría y actualmente estoy trabajando junto con Guite en la Oficina de Asuntos Internacionales. Este, Como ven, ¿por qué elegí Dinamarca? Pues muchas de las razones de las que dijo Guite las puedes experimentar una vez que ya estás aquí. Principalmente la calidad de vida se ve la diferencia. Sí es una de los países más felices del mundo. El ambiente laboral también se puede notar desde el principio, principalmente en la flexibilidad que tienen en todas las oficinas. Sí hay muchas oportunidades de trabajo aquí, sobre todo para estudiantes. No hay muchas oportunidades para todos los internacionales, sobre todo porque las empresas están abiertas a participar o a adquirir alumnos internacionales, ya que pues Dinamarca también es uno de los países en los que si tú hablas inglés, pues te resuelve mucho la vida y es muy beneficioso para ustedes. Y ahora en específico, ¿por qué Aarhus University? Bueno, para alumnos europeos, por parte de la EU, no tienen que pagar algún tipo de tuition. Y hay oportunidades, como mencionó Guiti, de beca para estudiantes que no vienen de países afiliados a la Unión Europea. Y como mencionó, pues tenemos una oportunidad ahora de ofrecer más beca a alumnos latinoamericanos porque, pues, como mencionó Guiti, necesitamos más alumnos de esa parte del mundo. Sí hay oportunidad también de trabajar parcialmente mientras estás estudiando. Y también la calidad de la educación se nota en las facilidades, en los edificios, en todos los cursos que tú tomas. Se ve un ambiente muy internacional desde un principio y como mencionó Guita en una de sus diapositivas, el ambiente sí es muy informal en el asunto en el que no sientes que tú estás tomando una clase con un profesor erudito o que conoce mucho del tema, sino que es más que nada como una clase con alguien que ya está más especializado y que te está tratando como un colega o como un futuro colega con el que puedes entablar una conversación para conocer más el tema y desarrollarte más. Entonces, está más enfocado a eso, en prepararte y en adaptarte a la vida que vas a tener después de terminar tu maestría. En cuestión de mi vida universitaria, he tenido muchas experiencias. Aquí les pongo algunos ejemplos de algunos proyectos de los que yo estuve trabajando durante el semestre pasado. Todos los profesores son experimentados en sus áreas. Eh, Hay mucho trabajo en equipo, sobre todo en ingeniería. Casi todos los proyectos o todo lo que tú vas a desarrollar es por trabajo en equipo. Está muy orientado a la investigación y a los proyectos por fuera también por parte de el desarrollo sustentable, también está muy enfocado en esa parte. Este, También la universidad te provee de muchos de software y de diferentes programas que tú vas a utilizar durante la carrera. Están eh, gratis para todos los alumnos y los que están desarrollando una maestría. Muchos de los proyectos, sobre todo en ingeniería, están basados en proyectos. Perdón, las calificaciones están basadas en proyectos y también en exámenes orales. O sea, dependiendo de la carrera o la maestría que ustedes elijan, eh, el periodo de examinación pues lo van a tener ya sea con nada más entregando una base de portafolio o algún examen oral, que prácticamente es como una plática entre tu profesor y un examinador de fuera, en donde van a platicar sobre algún problema o alguna parte del proyecto en específico y cómo lo resolviste, las técnicas que utilizaste y todo el conocimiento que tú adquiriste durante pues el semestre. En cuestión fuera de la universidad, también Dinamarca se encarga mucho de que tú tengas una experiencia también como una persona fuera de la escuela. Entonces se preocupa mucho por el ámbito social y por todo lo que tú hagas fuera de la universidad. Como ya mencioné, es un ambiente demasiado internacional. He conocido personas de Asia, de Europa, de África, de Latinoamérica, de América del Norte. Entonces, sí, sí hay muchísimas personas y todos nos comunicamos y nos entendemos entre nosotros porque tenemos la misma experiencia. Hay muchas oportunidades de trabajo, eh, sobre todo porque, como mencionó Guite, muchas de las empresas aquí buscan personas de fuera o que conozcan o que estén interesados en venir a Dinamarca. Eh, es muy fácil estar en Aarhus. Y es cierto, esta parte puse de unexpected weather, que es sí es cierto, no es tan frío como otros países de Escandinavia, pero tampoco es tan caluroso. Puedes encontrarte lluvia, nieve, viento, sol que quema, entonces hay que estar preparados. Aprendes a apreciar los días soleados demasiado porque no son tantos, y también tienen una cultura en cuestión al voluntariado muy importante. Pero ojo, no es voluntariado como voluntariado social, sino voluntariado en general en ayuda hacia cualquier empresa o cualquier sector que se necesita. Hay voluntariado desde voluntariado en restaurantes, voluntariado en acciones sociales, en acciones de sustentabilidad, en acciones con diferentes organizaciones. Entonces, ahí puedes conocer a muchas personas y aquí el principalmente método de comunicación entre todos es Facebook y Messenger. Entonces, también para que eh, así se mueven toda la parte de los daneses, todos los eventos, todas las cuestiones que tú encuentres en Facebook las puedes encontrar. Si hay un evento no sé, de alguna feria estudiantil, la encuentras en Facebook, se basan mucho en las asistencias que pones en los eventos, entonces también eso está muy, muy bien. Y muchas de las cosas que les recomendamos a las personas que quieren venir específicamente a Aarhus University, la universidad da muchas opciones para que tú puedas conocer a la universidad antes de llegar. Entonces, tenemos diferentes blogs escritos por alumnos internacionales, eh, prácticamente sobre cualquier tema, más que nada algunos tips, también información práctica sobre cómo adquirir, por ejemplo, una cuenta de banco, cómo me pueden pagar, cuál fue mi experiencia trabajando, cuál fue mi experiencia al llegar, visa, etcétera. Hay plataformas en donde puedes platicar con alumnos actualmente, como Unibody, que te dicen igual cómo encontrar casas, qué grupos de Facebook unirte. Hay muchos eventos, siempre hay algo que hacer aquí en la universidad. Y pues nunca está mal tampoco aprender un poco de danés para moverte o para estar un poco al tanto con lo que estás viviendo a tu alrededor. Este, y así. Entonces, eso fue todo de mi parte. Igual cambiar a inglés. If you have any questions also, I would also be gladly answering you, me or Gire, but thank you for your attention, and that was all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Edgar, and thank you, Gitte. So now we can move to the questions. I can see few of them. So the first one is asking, as a food engineer, do you think there are great academic and work opportunities in Aarhus for me?
Yeah, I believe there is. I don't know if Edgar, if you know any students in this program, but the students I've heard of have really good opportunities. In Aarhus, we have one of the biggest dairy companies in Europe called Arla, Their headquarters is in Aarhus, and their research office is actually right next to our food program department facilities. So we have a very good collaboration with them, and also have people coming from other universities to actually do research collaboration. And I have to apologize, why I don't know why my camera sometimes go dark. I'm in the same place, so I'm still here, even though I'm seeming a little dark in the face. But yeah, I would definitely say that there's a great work opportunities for people within the food sector. Do you have any comments, Edgar?
Well, I have a few friends that are also studying in the food department, and yeah, one of them actually got an internship in Arla, actually, and they look mostly for example, research opportunities, and they develop different kind of projects that people can either do internship or for their studies, like with a job opportunity there.
Okay, thank you. And the next one is asking, do European students living outside the EU have to pay the tuition fee?
No. If you have a citizenship within the EU, you can apply with that citizenship, and then you would not have to pay tuition fee.
Okay, really clear. And they also ask, which skills or aspects are considered for the nomination to the tuition fee waiver?
Well, the only thing we look at is your grades in the relevant program. So if you have any work experience or done any publications or anything like that, it's not something we look at. For the tuition fee waiver, we only look at your grades and the degree that you have earned.
Okay, a similar question is also work experience and other certification and courses cannot be part of the assessment for admission.
No, we only look at the bachelor program that is relevant for attending the master program.
A question from Diego is if you have any courses of languages.
No, not if you want to learn a language. We have a master degree in English, like English literature and media and so on. But then you would also again need a bachelor degree within English in English literature. So we don't have courses where you learn a language. And actually, it's not. I think it's not possible actually to get a visa for Denmark for language study, language courses, like to get better at a language.
Okay. And Luis is asking, what is included in the scholarship?
The scholarship for our STEM programs is a full tuition fee waiver, which means that it will cover the tuition fee for the full 2 years.
Okay. We also have questions in the chat. I'm going to read them. What are the IELTS requirements?
IELTS is 6.5, and as mentioned, we don't have any lower band, so it's not like you need at least 6 in reading or listening. It's just an average of 6.5.
Okay, and Roger is also asking, are there jobs as a doctoral researcher student?
We do have some students, especially in the last year, which can find a job as a TA or research assistant. I don't know, Edgar, if you know anyone who does it, but I've had met students in the past who apply to be a research assistant. Sometimes also something that they continue doing after they graduate until they find their first full-time job.
Yeah, especially depending on the master thesis or project that you are developing. Sometimes either your professor or your supervisor can nominate you or encourage you to continue the project, or just tell you that they are looking also for an assistant researcher.
Really good to hear this. Thank you. Then continue. Jimmy is asking, with a bachelor's degree in economics, can I apply for a master in statistics? And does the university has a double degree master program?
We don't have any double degrees within that area. We have double degrees in like agriculture, but not within economics and statistics. And a bachelor degree in economics would probably not qualify you for statistics. What I would suggest is go to the page about the program in statistics and see the admission requirements. But they are very specific about you need like probability theory, you need math, you need a lot of statistics. So statistics is actually one of our program who admits or offer admission to the fewest number of students applying. That and data science have very strict admission requirements.
Okay. Another question is, if I have an IELTS certificate from July 2021, does this still apply?
July 2021, no, it can't be more than 2 years old by the time the application system opens. So November 2021 would be the oldest that we accept.
Okay. And then Juan is asking, do you have a program that will allow me to perfect my English before starting the master degree?
Again, we don't offer any language courses. I think the best opportunity to learn English is to actually speak to other internationals and just use the language while you're here. Maybe come to Denmark before the start of studies. We actually, in 2 weeks before the start of studies, so in the middle of August, we have this thing called the Kickstarter, which is a full week of introduction to Aarhus and Denmark, where you will actually learn Danish in the morning, and then you would socialize and have social events in the afternoon. And this year we had 65 people from all over the world joining us. I think, Edgar, you also are a pretty big part of this, organizing it. And everyone said that they would really recommend it to everyone else because it was a really good way of joining. And of course, it's not English language learning specifically, but I still think that it's a good way to learn. How about you, Edgar? How did you improve your English in the beginning?
Well, it was basically talking to other international students. I didn't have also the perks to find anyone from Latin America when I arrived, so forcing myself to speak in English was the way of me perfecting it. But also, I would say there are some, like, for example, outside university, you can find a lot of, like, for example, tandem programs through Facebook or something else that you can practice like a language exchange or something like that.
Yeah, it's a really great idea to come before, just to have also the chance to check on the city, the people living there, and how it's working the university. Then you also have the chance to practice a bit the language, and this is a good idea. Thank you. Then another question is, you have mentioned that we could work while studying. Do you need to apply for a work permit to do that while we are studying, and how many hours are allowed to work?
No, in the student residence permit, you are allowed to work for up to 20 hours per week and full-time in July and August when there's no studies. So automatically you are allowed to work 20 hours per week. And automatically, when you apply, you're also allowed to stay in Denmark after graduation for 3 years. You don't have to apply for that either if your passport have a duration of all these years, so 5 years at least. Then it's automatic, the whole thing. It's very easy.
Okay. I see now that we are done with the questions. Meanwhile, that maybe some ideas pop up. I would ask to Git and Edgar if you want to leave a message to the students here.
Sure, Edgar, do you want to start or should I?
Yeah, I can start with no problem. I mean, for the people that are still here, I think you're already eager to do something abroad and study outside of your home country. So I think that's a really big step, and that's like the beginning. You don't lose anything at applying. And I would also say that Aarhus University in Denmark in general allows a lot of opportunities for people to either work, networking, and knowing other place. So I would also encourage you to try it. And as you can see, we also are looking for a lot of Latin American people, so maybe you can be the next one.
Yeah, and I just want to add that yeah, maybe Aarhus University is one of the many choices that you're considering, but I really hope that we will be one of your top choices. I can honestly say that almost all the international students I talked to, also both the ones that had never heard about Aarhus University almost before applying, and the ones that had, haven't been disappointed, not with the academic level, not with the student life, not with the community they become a part of, not with the opportunities around the university. So for sure, look into joining us at Aarhus University. We'll do our very best to help you feel at home here.
Thank you. So I saw that we still have a few questions. They are asking if does it exist a master in physics, and which is the plan of study?
Yeah, we do have a master's degree in physics. We both have one in physics and one in astronomy. And as all our other master degree programs, sorry, I have a fly here. All our master degree programs are 2 years, and all, as also the examples I showed you, they are very flexible. And you can actually tailor it to your own interests and your specialty. So go and have a look at our website. It's masters.au.dk and find the program, and then you can find the different courses that you can actually choose from in the course catalog. But all the courses will be in English for the physics also.
Okay. Then they're saying also, I'm interested in the biotechnology programs. Are there any special requirements for that program?
Biotechnology, then you would need, let me just find the slide here and just read it out. I don't want to start sharing my screen again. But for biotechnology, it's actually a little bit easier to also than statistics and data science. And it's a good opportunity to actually do statistics or data science. So you need, of course, some mathematics and statistics in your bachelor degree. Your bachelor degree could both be from computer science, from data science, molecular biology, statistics. We do see a lot of different students coming into this program. Then you also need some courses within computer science, molecular biology, or bioinformatics, computer systems. So either computer science or molecular biology. And then you need at least 60 ECTS within one of these subject areas. So statistics, computer science, molecular biology and genetics, or bioinformatics. So as you can see, it's a very broad background that can go into this program. And then depending on if you come from a computer science background or maybe more like a molecular biology, there are courses that you either need to take or have done already. And it gives a really good mix in the class for people with these different backgrounds. So it's a really good program. I think we admit around 30 people every year, and more than around half of these are international.
Okay. Next question. Is there a problem if my bachelor degree is from 2011? Can I still apply?
You can still apply. I don't know which program you are considering, but for computer science, they would look a little bit about if you have the contemporary knowledge of computer science in your bachelor degree. So again, depending on what it's a really annoying fly. Depending on what you're looking into, it wouldn't be a problem. We don't have like a date where you need your bachelor degree before that time or after that time. So everyone can apply.
Good to hear. How much is the cost of tuition fees for international students from Latin America?
The tuition fee is 15,300 euros per year, and it's a 2-year program.
Nice. And is there a master related with biostatistics?
Then I would say it's bioinformatics, where you can again choose different specializations. There's one with data science and machine learning, and also one with genomics and computer science. So again, with all the programs as mentioned, you can also do electives. So you could do electives within maybe some more molecular medicine or biomedicine or data science or statistics in the bioinformatics. So there's a good opportunity again to mix this program as you want.
Nice. So the last question is for Edgar. Roger is asking if you could please share your email for further questions. I don't know, Edgar, if you want to share your student email or also get there to leave your contact. So in this way, the students can get in contact with you.
Sure, absolutely. But maybe I can also mention that we have this thing on our website called Chat with Our Students, where you can chat with, I think, more than 100 current international students from different programs. So it's both an opportunity to talk to people from Mexico or other countries, but also an opportunity to talk to students from the program that you're interested in. So maybe if you want to hear about a specific course or how many are in the program or what is it like to live in Denmark, all these things, then you can talk to our students. So I think that's also, and Edgar is also on this platform, so you can also find him here. I'll just share the link in the chat if I can. Let's see, everyone. So this is where you can chat with our students. But
Nice.
of course, you can also share your email, but I think it's way easier for people to find you on the platform.
Yeah, I would also say that this platform where you can chat is you can see all different international students that are currently at Aarhus University. And personally, I sometimes check more that platform that my institutional email, as I have it a bit filtered. But yeah, that's an amazing platform where you can see people from everywhere that are here studying.
Okay, so I would say that we are officially done with the questions. So thanks again, Gitter and Edgar, to be with us today. And also thanks everyone to have joined us today and to have been curious and responsive. So I hope you learned a lot about Aarhus University and help you to make the decision to actually move in one of the happiest countries in the world, as we learn in this webinar, and start in this way your amazing new chapter. So if you are interested in receive our certificate of attendance, you can click the link that I sent in the chat. And to reply to the very last question, we will share with you the registration of the webinar. So in this way, you can see the recording in the next following days. So please check your email. And thanks again to everyone. And I hope to see you in the next webinar. Have a nice
Thank you so much
evening.
for having us. Bye.
Thank
Bye.